For everything I know and love, please do not be late to the party that's going to be happening here in about 24 days. That's all it's going to be, guys. Over Christmas and New Year, enjoy yourself, relax, spend time with friends and family. And in 24 days from today, we are likely going to be experiencing a completely different market. And the altcoins I will mention to you today are the ones I believe spearheading the explosiveness. And today, I'm going to tell you why. But I'm going to also tell you why I think Q1 of next year is going to be glorious no matter what. So make sure you tune in and make sure you are subscribed with the bell turned on, guys. I'm going to keep it 100 with you on this channel, of course, providing the most information possible in each video to make sure you are the most equipped for the bull run. Now, we don't need a rocket scientist to tell us the market's taking a massive crap on our heads right now. But this is a good thing, because I truly do believe with what I'm about to tell you, the market is going to be going up here. There is a small, and I want to emphasize small chance that this has been the top, but it's very much so close to zero. I don't want to even really bring that to light. So this is nothing more than a buying opportunity if you have the dry powder, right? If you have the cash. Now, this post here recently from OX Numbler, I think shows us perfectly where we are right now. We've had some great momentum building over here the last few months, and those of you who've been in the market as long as I have been experiencing some pretty good results. However, we're in the bear trap right now, I do believe. And what this pretty much means is that we're going to experience much more results in a much faster time frame than what we've experienced over the last 12 or so months since back about October 2023. This post over here also shows that the Altcoin liquidity index has reached a point where we likely will see, based on history, a massive turn of events, all right? Lots of gains are on the horizon. Sentiment as well is also at really good levels in terms of what usually happens from here anyway. Back over here on July 4th, right? Positive comments were more scarce than negative comments, but from this point, we actually went up 17.5% over the next 11 days. August 4th, you had the same situation, went up about 14% over the next 4 days. The same situation has occurred down here. We've spiked down regarding sentiment to those same levels, actually even more than those levels. And if history has anything to say about this, it's that we're about to experience likely some sort of decent turnaround here in the short term. And of course, what I'm about to show you here in Q1, I think massive returns. And we're tracking just fine right now. I mean, nothing is unusual. We have the black line here and the blue and green lines with the two previous cycles. And as a matter of fact, the previous cycles had much larger corrections at this point. I am of the firm belief we are actually going to have a cycle here. We've just broken the previous all-time high in terms of Bitcoin's price. We haven't even broken the previous high in terms of altcoins market cap. So we haven't had a bull run. We've just had a positive sentiment change, essentially. This lead up we can see here to where we are right now. This was Bitcoin going through the trenches, struggling to gain people's confidence back again, in my personal opinion. Now, this chart shows a lot, and I have a full video I'll plan to come out with that analyzes this a little bit more as to give, I think, a massive boost in at least my personal confidence that Q1 will be a massive quarter or time period for us in our altcoins here. But all you need to know for this video is that in these green boxes here, this is Q1 of this cycle, the previous cycle, and the cycle before that. The green, red, orange, and blue lines, so spring, summer, autumn, and winter, were that season or seasonality for that last 12 months of the 4-year cycle. And again, we pretty much always top out in and around winter, so the blue line here. We also do have, where we are right now, a period where we do move up quite a lot before that last 12 months. Back in 2018 was 75%. The last cycle was 153%, which is a 2.5x. And this cycle, I believe, will probably have, I think, again, an estimate, maximum of 50% gains, which is about 140K Bitcoin price. It is an estimate. Again, this is a very bullish period, apparently, for Bitcoin's price, because in this time, it tends to actually gain some dominance back, and then it begins bleeding off around halfway through Q1 into Q2. Q2 seems to be a very bullish time for altcoins. So the goal here is to set our buy levels so low now for Q1 because it's just going to be an overall good time for everyone involved for the first half of next year. Bitcoin's dominance is actually pretty much saying the exact same thing. In the last cycle, Bitcoin's dominance from today, it went up an average of about 13%, topped out at the beginning of Q1, so literally the 1st of January 2021, and then it came crashing down 15%, so pretty much what it gained, it almost came back down again. and then it chopped sideways for 40 days before the end of quarter one, and then quarter two was amazingly bullish for altcoins because Bitcoin's dominance came crashing down. Now, there are a lot of comparisons and contrasts we can make from the last cycle to this cycle. One of the most important ones was back then in November, we came down 8% from what we thought was the highs. And recently in November, we came down from what we thought was the recent highs about 10%, pretty much the exact same. Now, from this key level of support and resistance, you can see here, we actually touched and we came up in Bitcoin's dominance. We're up at about 7% right now, but the last cycle, we went up to about 14%. So that would put us at about 63% dominance, which I wouldn't put in the realm of impossibility, like you can see over here. We did find quite a bit of resistance over here at around 60% market dominance. So we might hit this and begin traveling between these lines before coming down around in Q1 here sometime, ranging along this level of resistance and support like we did over here, for example, and then in quarter two, really come rushing down. That could possibly happen. That's one circumstance. The second circumstance would more look similar to the last cycle. We kind of come up here a little bit, hit that around 63% dominance level, and then kind of come down a little bit, and then we free fall around to the same level again, and then sometime in the last parts of quarter one, we again do what I said before and come down again, similar to this, and then this. But look, I'm not going to sit here and try to pull up every single possible circumstance under the sun. I think these two are quite valid based on history. But needless to say, the most important thing I think here is that stablecoin market cap is still increasing. We're at highs, all-time highs right now. So of course, while we have a sort of net outflow of the market cap of altcoins in the crypto market in general, stable coins continue to go up, which is great, because if these begin to go down, that's a more worrying sign. And in my opinion, going back to what I said before, I have good reason to believe quarter one will be glorious, but there can be no glory without some suffering to begin with. So here are the altcoins I think will smash it in quarter one this year. The reason is because they're in strong narratives, AI, real asset, and DeFi. That's one important thing. The next important thing here is looking at catalysts. So past, present, and future catalysts, or what I call popularity score. Have a look at HBAR, for example. Past confirmed announcements, like them working with Google, one of their governing council members, was an official confirmation of a partnership here, which of course, when the price moves up like it's doing right now, people look at that and go, oh my God, they're working with Google. They had been working with Google for a while now, but of course, there's buzz in the market again with HBAR. That's what they latch onto. Now, we also have present announcements, which is pretty much currently to the day or to the last week or so, an announcement from the project itself that they have a pretty interesting or amazing thing happen to them. Like with HBAR here, where they announced that NVIDIA will be storing all of their AI GPU computations immutably on Hedera. This is a massive announcement, and this directly ties Hedera to AI now. And then we have future. This is purely speculation or FOMO, usually from people who have a vested interest in the project, like Sean calling over here that MicroStrategy might possibly buy Bitcoin. It's completely and utterly speculation. It's creating FOMO. But of course, this just aids the appreciation of project. This is why influencers are so important in a project's directory, because they help create speculation and FOMO. Also over here, Zeppi saying that they're going to be at the intersection of AI and sort of utility, essentially. So it's just creating that sort of FOMO feeling for people to want to go FOMO into the coin. So no one cared about HBAR back down here. Actually, I had people calling me on the videos I made about HBAR, crap coin, why are you holding, I'm selling. And then over here, everyone's like, I love it. And everyone's like, oh my God, I better FOMO in. Look at these amazing things they're doing. Have you seen their partners? It's like nothing had changed about the coin apart from a few catalysts, like I just said, causing the trigger of the interest, pretty much giving them a reason to look into the coin further. If price goes up in crypto, people think that's quality. If price goes down and moves sideways, they think bad. First coin here is Hedera. This might surprise some of the channel OGs because I personally am not in Hedera, and I was in for the whole bear market for like 2-3 years. It's still my number one top quality coin in perpetuity. And I've made that a very apparent point. I've also said Hedera in previous videos will still make a lot of multiples, which it's doing. I left for reasons I'm not going to mention in this video. They are open on the channel here for those of you to go ahead and watch. But either way, the main reason why I picked this is, guys, they are now pivoted very heavily into tokenization and also AI with the recent announcement I mentioned here with storing immutably all of the AI computations that happen from Intel and NVIDIA on the network. This is massive. This deserves 10,000 likes. This is humongous news. to say the least. They also have a possible ETF confirmation happening as well. There's, again, speculation on this for future, but I think HBAR, AERO, XLM, and XRP are some of the biggest candidates in the crypto space to have this approved. So again, this is a massive catalyst for the possible price. However, I must say the recent AI news really does complement the project for this cycle, as well as the RWA news. That's why I've picked them. If the ETF happens, you bet your bottom dollar my price predictions are going in the bin. It's going to go way higher than what I perceived, which is good for your HBAR, guys. I don't understand the tribal nature of crypto. I'm not going to wish HBAR doesn't do well because I'm not personally invested in it. Neither should you. Pro tip. Next coin here is Render. I've spoken about Render quite a bit. This one took a bit of a beating, down from $10 to $7.30. However, I made a full video explaining why it's one of the only 3 coins I would hold if you could only pick 3 altcoins for this bull run. There's a lot of great reasons as to why, namely, just like HBAR, their connections are out of this world. They aren't some Fugazi connection. They are actual proper connections. They also burn tokens, 290,000 to the current day. And if you factor in how many they're minting, minusing the amount that they're actually burning, we get some pretty stable monthly sort of inflationary numbers here, which are a lot less than when they first started this. So they pretty much kicked this in of about February of this year, and it's been pretty stable ever since. And of course, the more traction the project gains, the more they burn. So it'll become eventually deflationary. And the next coin here is actually a part of that top 3 list as well, and that's Ondo Finance. Of course, these guys are tokenizing US treasuries, and they're doing a whole bunch more. Matter of fact, in Q1 of 2025, so when we can expect this momentum to really shift up a notch, they are launching what's called Ondo Global Markets, working very closely with BlackRock and Securitize to bring on traditional securities on-chain, which will be massive. Now, Binance is actually accumulating this project here quite a lot. We can see from this post here from Not Telling, and that's amazing because they aren't currently listed on Binance. They're also being bought up by another giant over here, which is Upbit. So Upbit has been accumulating a lot, and they bought about, over 9 million tokens on the recent dip here. And if you have a look at their connections again with Securitize, one of the board members of Securitize is now the new SEC chairman, now Paul Atkins. And as they say on this post here, we look forward to more clarity and collaboration in the crypto industry. So you can imagine what's about to happen for these RWA coins because the chairman of the SEC is pro-crypto and not Gary Gensler. Another connection I made also in that top 3 video was that Paul Atkins here is part of the board of Securitize, which is now working with Wormhole. This news has yet to really impact Wormhole all too much in a price way, but as this mentions here, this is going to allow Wormhole to be the transfer agent, essentially, of anything that BlackRock and Securitize wants to bring on-chain to transfer across the whole entire ecosystem that is connected to Wormhole. So the news hasn't caught up to this yet. Wormhole did go up a little bit here in price, up to 40 cents, which was quite good. It's moved down just as much as any other project recently, but I don't think the market has truly caught on to this. We're waiting for that particular trigger, that event to come back into Wormhole to, I think, cause the reason for people to look into Wormhole further. Like BlackRock says here, they are looking to transfer their Buildle fund, so the fund that, Ondo taps into, for example, here, across chain. They're looking to do this for all past and present tokenized assets, which means the Buildle fund as well. So Wormhole is a transfer agent into crypto for the Buildle fund. This is huge, and people will eventually catch on. That's why I'm bullish. We also have Mina. Mina is a layer 1 zero knowledge proof network. As a matter of fact, these guys are at the forefront of the ZKP narrative. That's why I added them in here. They also do have some ties as well into the RWA space, and they have a massive roadmap here, which is, I think, a good reason to look into possible future announcements. Essentially, that FOMO speculation possibility is definitely there. Like Jay said over here, they're at the unique intersection of real-world assets and crypto as well, because zero-knowledge proofs allows me as a business owner, for example, or BlackRock, to know you as someone who may be wanting to use the Buildle fund is who you say you are without you providing me any of your identification, documents. So I know that they are true and valid without me seeing any of it. That's the power of ZKP technology, which means there's an amazing intersection here between Mina and real-world assets, like again mentioned here, by Jay. These guys are also in one of the top 10 projects regarding the fastest growing ecosystems by full-time developers. And I think the main reason for this is because they've brought on their ecosystem finally. You couldn't build applications on Mina before, now you can. That's somewhat recent news as well. Vitalik Buterin has also mentioned recently Mina in terms of projects pretty much he's been inspired by with Ethereum. So amazing stuff. You can only imagine the chatter happening behind the scenes with these big boys. We also have Pyth Network and Oracle competing with Chainlink. Now, these guys are a very, very fast Oracle. They do things differently to Chainlink, allowing for cheaper, faster Oracle price feeds. They're on 88 different networks. They've secured almost $14 billion, around about a half of what Chainlink currently has. They recently surpassed $1 trillion, that's with a T, in total traded volume. These guys are coming for the top spot. I had a comment recently on my channel here saying Pyth isn't performing as well as you said it would. Guys, with any of these projects, Pyth included, first of all, they have to have the narrative pump. That's the main thing. There may not be a reason for it to pump just yet. We haven't even had true alt season. Just relax a little bit. Things are going to come to these coins so long as you pick them well. If you buy the coin because I make a video on it and that's the only reason, that's your problem, not me talking about the projects I own and or love. We also had 21 shares create an ETP, exchange traded product, pretty much an ETF for Pyth, as well as Render, Ondo, and Mina Protocol as well. That brings me across to my next project, which is Mina Protocol. This coin went down to a fantastic level, $4.50 recently. Don't let the market cap scare you guys. I see Mina Protocol going over $100 billion market cap, non-financial advice. That's just my opinion. The main reason is because they are so heavily involved in AI right now. Like Ilya, the co-founder, says, they are looking to actually create viable AI products right now. They want to bring the most AI agents into crypto. They want to onboard 1 billion users. They're also over here part of the decentralized AI fund from Grayscale. They have their own Grayscale ETF or ETP, if you will. It's just overall extremely bullish for this coin. Now, where they're lacking is, I think, TVL, right? It's not bad, but it's not great either, okay? And considering they have, I think, a lot larger of an ecosystem than that of like Sui, for example, they should have more TVL than Sui. And I think one of the main reasons why they didn't before is because they didn't have a great way people could access the project. Now they're fully integrated MetaMask, being the first non-EVM chain to fully integrate MetaMask. This is huge for a coin like this, because again, this just allows more people to have access to the ecosystem, increases TVL, therefore increases overall interest and reasons to buy. Pretty simple. Next up is, of course, Chainlink. I cannot deny Chainlink being a powerful project. The main reason is because it is working so heavily with the biggest names in the world, hands down right next to XRP, okay? They're looking to literally bring on-chain tokenized assets from Swift, from these large institutions. They're changing the payment rails entirely and assisting with that thanks to one of their recent upgrades, which was CCIP. Morpho, this is one of the more bullish mid-cap coins I personally can think of here, is a 300 million market cap coin. It's a base lending and borrowing platform. Its TVL is 5 billion right now. Okay, this includes borrowed amounts. So $5 billion in TVL. Let me put it this way. That's more than almost all the networks out there. That's on par with Binance Smart Chain total TVL, and that's the 5th largest chain in the entire space. 5 billion TVL, 300 mil market cap. Knowing what we know here with like Uniswap, PancakeSwap, eventually the market cap catches up and then eclipses, you can see in green here with Uniswap, the TVL. Now this actually happened, this interchange, this switch happened in Q1 of 2021 that I was talking to you guys about earlier on, being the main in the last 2 cycles. Switch up we have here from negative sentiment to positive sentiment, and also the appreciation of altcoins. We have Injective as well. Very briefly, Injective here is again at the intersection of AI, DeFi, and real-world assets. They're allowing people to actually trade the build-all fund in terms of the inflows and outflows, which is pretty interesting. They also burn their tokens as well. I'm going to mention Aerodrome Finance here being the best DEX play, I believe, of the cycle. $1.50. It's come down a lot, guys, a lot. 1 billion market cap. I can't think of a better base play right now other than AERO and Morpho, particularly because AERO, as you can see here, has even more trading volume per month than Uniswap. Now, this just is on base, so that's admittedly true, but I must say that Aerodrome has completely destroyed in the last 6 months Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and the rest of the decentralized exchanges here coming in at like what's this number 6 spot overall. This is competing with the likes of Solana, Ethereum, Circle, Tron, and Tether. So you cannot go wrong with a project destroying its competition in that way, and that I think is a indication with the future potential of the project. Aether is a great pick here as well. This is a deep in AI project providing so much infrastructure for the space, and that's reflected here with how much revenue they're producing per month. $86 million in revenue. This beats IONET by a few multiples and Render by an order of magnitude, a 10x, actually over a 10x. So again, small market cap here being about 300 million, yet huge upside based on what it's doing. And lastly, Beam for the gaming projects here. I can't go wrong with Beam, of course. The reason why I love this coin, they've recently branched out to their own layer 1 project. They've got their own AI incentives. Now they're integrating AI, and they're also spearheading the gaming infrastructure area over in the UAE as well. Lots of catalysts. This is the main thing. Are they in good narratives? Do they have huge catalysts? These all do, in my opinion. Buy them at your own discretion. Do some more research. Hopefully this channel has enough free content for you to do that. If not, come join the private community. Ask the questions down there. We have a bunch more content over there. With that being said, thanks so much. Talk to you all soon. Take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.